So for the sake of transparency, and I want to be completely transparent on everything we talk about when it comes to Call of Duty and Black Ops 7, and that's the good and the bad. And before we jump into what I deem a whole lot of bad and why, I did want to put this at the front of this video for you guys. And apparently, Jimmy in 2025 giving his raw and filtered opinion, whether it's good or bad, it seems like I'm supposed to be walking on eggshells for some people. Not necessarily you guys, this community on this channel, but over on X and everything, well, some people don't really want to hear my actual opinion on stuff. I've always given my opinion on Call of Duty, but I made a decision for myself and for my sanity to give raw and filtered opinions on what's going on. So yeah, anyway, Treyarch posted this. We've been keeping an eye on multiplayer matchmaking conversations and want to assure everyone of a few things. All of our open playlists use open matchmaking and persistent lobbies. We will remain committed to that approach. Quick Play uses the same open matchmaking where skill is minimally considered. I want you guys to remember that phrase, minimally considered, for later on in the video. The combination of Quick Play and persistent lobbies is new and presents unique interactions that we are monitoring to improve over time. Speaking of Quick Play, if you've seen some of your selections occasionally overridden when playing, we deployed a fix for that today. I wanted to make sure to include that post from Treyarch for you guys for this video. And now, we're going to jump into why I think Black Ops 7 is pretty much one of the biggest launch disasters we've had for Call of Duty so far. You know how we've been hearing about how awesome Black Ops 7 was going to be leading up to launch, which is how it works every single year. We were hearing about how the open matchmaking would play and make everything better and that it would feel super old school in the non-disbanding lobbies. Well, people have been playing Black Ops 7 multiplayer for a few days now. I think the verdict is in, and today I'm going to be brutally honest with you guys. It's not good. Fortunately, it does not seem to be the game that people were hoping it was going to be in a lot of ways. It doesn't even seem to be the game that was promised to us because people are starting to run some tests on the open matchmaking, and guess what? Let's just say it's not as open as Treyarch was allegedly making it sound. We've talked about this, and this is not going to be an I told you video, but I am going to be completely honest. And I know, the trend is when a new Call of Duty comes out, it's popular to hate on the game. You get clicks and views, and that's how it works. Well, I get that, but we also have to be subjectively honest and critique as well. And that's exactly where I'm at in my Call of Duty career and on this channel and this community with you guys. So welcome to the channel, everybody. On a Jimmy here today. And this one's probably going to sound like one of the old school Chaos commentaries that a lot of you commented saying that you absolutely love. So let me know, are you enjoying Black Ops 7? If you are, which portion? Multiplayer, zombies, campaign, and maybe we'll have some good positives in here somewhere. I don't know. We'll talk about it. So first things first, let's address the elephant in the room. Open matchmaking. Long story short, this is my opinion. This is not open matchmaking. I think what's going on behind the scenes is exactly what I said was going on and what was going to happen. When you read the description of open matchmaking in-game, it says skill is minimally considered. It does not say skill is not considered. It says minimally considered. Some of you probably remember about a month ago, I went on a little rant about that wording because what does minimally even mean? Why would they say minimally consider instead of not considered? My theory was that they were wording things like that so they had a back door. They would have the excuse to tweak the algorithm behind the scenes however they want, not tell anyone. Because if skill is minimally considered, that means SBMM is still in the game to some degree in the open matchmaking playlist. But as long as the SBMM is looser than the standard matchmaking playlist, where it's super strict, well, Treyarch is still technically following through with the promises of what open matchmaking was going to be, right? Well, I think a lot of people are starting to realize exactly what I was worried about a couple months ago because, put simply, it's my video, my channel. I was 100% right about this. Back in the beta, it seemed like SBMM was almost entirely turned off because people were getting a very wide variety of skill levels in their lobbies and matchmaking was nearly instant. Everybody had low ping. It was amazing. It was great. It was just like how COD used to be. But now that the full game is out, it's an entirely different story. A lot of people are reporting that their queue times for open matchmaking is taking much longer than it did in the beta, which absolutely should not be happening during the launch weekend of a game. The player base during the beta, it was a lot smaller than it is right now, so there is no reason for the open matchmaking to take longer to queue people, unless the open matchmaking is now using more parameters when people match up. It's not just the longer queue times. A lot of people are also now reporting their average ping is significantly higher in open matchmaking than it was in the beta, which is another thing that absolutely should not be happening if open matchmaking was working the way that we were hoping it would. Oh, did I mention that lobbies don't actually stay together after every match in the open matchmaking playlist? Huh, that's weird. But the biggest indication here is that the average sweat level of the open matchmaking lobbies is insane. And I know it's insane that we even have to use this subjective word, the average sweat level, but it's to the point that it feels no different than the last few COD games. You could say, Jimmy, you're probably just bad at COD, so the open matchmaking lobbies feel bad. No, that's not what's going on here. I'm not saying I'm not bad at COD, but that's not what's going on. I frequently go up against full 5 or 6 stacks of guys, slide spamming, spawn trapping, or I'm getting into lobbies where nobody knows what the heck is going on. It literally feels like SBMM all over again. And on top of that, with the longer queue times and the higher ping than the beta had, I think it makes it clear what's going on. My opinion is Treyarch allegedly 100% turned up the SBMN and open matchmaking playlist. Because all the bad players are over in the standard matchmaking playlist because the bad players actually want to be protected by SBMM. That means the open matchmaking playlist only has the players who already know what they're doing and are already good at the game. So yeah, the SBMM might not be as strict in the open matchmaking playlist as it is in the standard matchmaking playlist, but the average player in the open playlist is way better than the average player in the standard playlist. So now, Treyarch turned up the SBMM in the open playlist. It's basically just turned it into an SBMM COD all over again. I hate to say all that. Oh my God. Just sucked the soul out of me going through that. But, I mean, how do I not take it as a bait and switch? That's what I called it before, right? Bait and switch of open matchmaking. The weird, Activision's weird refusal to just have old school matchmaking. We're protecting little Timmy here. And in case you don't think things are actually that bad for Call of Duty this year in terms of player counts, I mean, we did a video just the other day about launch day, what they hit, like 85,000 on Steam, and don't argue with me, Steam's not the majority. I know that, we've explained all that, okay? But if it's not good there, it's probably not good elsewhere. And I do want to take another look at the Steam charts here. Some people said in the comments section of my last video that I was being too harsh on COD and that Steam isn't a good representation of how things are. I'm going to say it one more time. If the game is struggling on Steam, it's safe to assume it's struggling on other platforms as well. And this game is seriously struggling on Steam to the point that Activision might try and pull something out there to boost the player counts again. I mean, honestly, they already tried to do that by lumping all the COD games into COD HQ. Maybe they make the player counts look higher some other way. I mean, we'll see. So according to Steam charts on Sunday afternoon, and remember, the game came out just a couple days ago, so this is as high as the numbers are ever going to get for Black Ops 7. Call of Duty app on Steam, which includes BO6, BO7, and Warzone, is currently sitting with a little less than 90,000 concurrent players. This is the freaking launch weekend of a massive PvP game. That number should be at least 200,000. Let me put that in perspective. Back when Black Ops 6 came out late 2024, Call of Duty on Steam was sitting in the high 200K or low 300K range of concurrent players. Black Ops 6 launched on Game Pass as well, so you can't write off and say the current numbers are as just, oh, people are playing on Game Pass, because here's the thing. Game Pass subscribers on PC have actually gone down since Black Ops 6 came out. Black Ops 6 was putting up really good numbers on Steam despite there being a lot of Game Pass players on PC who weren't counted on the Steam charts. So you can't use the Game Pass as an excuse for Black Ops 7 having terrible numbers on Steam. There's no way around it. It's a bad launch. It might actually be the smallest launch in COD history in terms of the players and the servers. And it really seems to me that Call of Duty really needs to take a year off. Take next year off. There's no way they're going to come back from numbers like this. And if Activision seriously thinks Modern Warfare 4 is going to get things back on track in 2026, I say this with all the respect in the world as a true Call of Duty fan from 2 decades. They're out of their minds. Especially now that Modern Warfare 4 has to go head-to-head with GTA 6. Are we serious? Black Ops 7 was marketed as a big return to form for Call of Duty multiplayer. Massive nostalgia trip for the old school fans. The game was honestly a bit of a Hail Mary from Activision to try and boost the player counts and get everybody back on board with the franchise. And I think it may have fallen short. So what does it mean for the future? Especially when it comes to Modern Warfare 4, because according to all the leaks I've covered, Infinity Ward is going right back to all the stuff that drove people away from COD in the first place. Doors, slow pacing, SBMM, camping, protecting little Timmy, all of it in Modern Warfare 4. So if the community isn't really in a strong place by the time that game comes out, imagine the damage it's going to do to the franchise from that. And that's not even talking about Black Ops 7. What are your opinions on each mode? I hear zombies is pretty good. I hear multiplayer. I actually hear some good things about multiplayer. There's a lot of negatives too, but I do see some people out there saying it feels really smooth. I know there's the whole aim assist debate going on right now, controller aim assist. And then campaign, I think it's unanimous that campaign's garbage. 4 hours long, looks like something out of Destiny or Resident Evil combined and had a baby with Dead Space or something. Absolutely lost the plot. I know Black Ops is supposed to be political and like noir and trippy and all conspiracy. They went off the deep end. I mean, just go watch some of the clips of the campaign. They completely lost the plot with this game. The campaign, there were people saying it's worse than Black Ops 3. Train go boom. And if that's actually how people feel about it, that is a huge swing and a huge miss. So let me know on that. I mean, at this point, I think the only way to properly save Call of Duty is to take next year off. Let GTA come and go. Let the community cool down from this year, then come back in 2027 with a massive greatest hits kind of game. Maybe like COD Mobile was. Ditch COD HQ. Ditch the yearly releases. Just put out a full console PC version of COD Mobile. Then release some remasters of old games. If you want to get some extra money out of the community and you really want to bank on nostalgia, that's how you do it. The current strategy, it's not working. I really have no idea how they think this could be successful moving forward. Or if you are going to take next year off, scratch Modern Warfare 4, take the time with Sledgehammer and create us a brand new sub-genre or sub-whatever it's called. Yeah. Sub-IP, like they did with Call of Duty Ghosts and Advanced Warfare. Give us something brand new we've never seen before. Give us fresh. Please, for the love of anything, no more Black Ops and no more Modern Warfare. And I can't believe I'm saying that because I'm so deeply tied to those IPs and sub-franchises, but come on. You have force-fed it. You have milked the cow till there is no milk left to giveth. We need to be done. Something new. And this is perfect. GTA 6 is going to swallow everything. Take the year off. Cancel Modern Warfare 4. Go back to the drawing board. Give us something brand new, fresh, not tied to either one of these in any way. And let's move forward. Then again, you could give us Advanced Warfare 2, and I'd be happy with that too. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you soon.